Hello everyone, Namaste. Welcome to our Gita study session. So we are in this third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. This chapter is titled Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga. In this chapter, Krishna talks about importance of working. So this chapter begins with Arjuna wants to renounce the work. He wants to run away from his work. Krishna says you have to do your work. You work like a Karma Yogi. And Krishna talks about various things in this chapter. I'm going to skip those details and directly go into the verse. So I've been giving this overview in a couple of sessions, but today I'm planning to complete this chapter. So I will skip the summary and I'll give the summary on the third chapter in the next session. In the next session, I'll give complete overview of this third chapter and we'll begin the chapter 4. Okay. Okay, so this chapter, this verse 34, gradual purification. So I'll start. Indriyasyardhe raga dvesho vyavastitho tayorna vasham agachet tauhi asya paripantino. Translation. There are principles to regulate attachment and aversion pertaining to the senses and their objects. One should not come under the control of such attachment and aversion because they are stumbling blocks on the path of self-realization. So Krishna is talking about two things, attachment and aversion, which arises due to our senses and in contact with sense objects, right? Attachment, aversions, and Krishna is saying these are the stumbling blocks, these are obstacles on the path of self-realization. So this is a message to Arjuna. Let's see the message to Arjuna. What is the message to Arjuna? And we'll go deep into like how this applies to us and what is the message for us. Okay. So the message to Arjuna here is Arjuna wants to avoid working. He wants to renounce the world and he wants to meditate. Right? He wants to attain self-realization by not working. Krishna is saying the path of Gnana, that path is called Gnana Yoga, that involves renunciation. So that path is difficult and that involves these obstacles. So in your case, you better do Karma Yoga. Right? The obstacles are attachment and aversion. So what is this attachment and aversion? We'll see. So here attachment like raga. Raga. Attachment is raga. Dvesha means hatredness. Okay. So we'll see what exactly means, right? So let's talk about the desire. What is desire? Right? So desire is something which is an emotion which naturally comes from us, right? How it begins, right? So when we senses in contact with sense objects, right? A sense object could be a phone, a laptop, or a place, or opposite gender, or it could be anything, any object in this world, in this material world, any object. When we look at it, right? So we'll get, wow, what a thing, right? We'll develop desire. So that's how our desire starts. Desire starts. So we'll analyze this desire and hatredness separately. Okay. So this desire, when it starts, and why Krishna is saying this is an obstacle on the path of self-realization. Okay. These desires in Buddhism, Gautama Buddha, Lord Buddha also says the same thing basically. What is the root cause of our suffering? Why do we suffer? One person went to Gautama Buddha and asked, Buddha, why am I suffering in this world? Then Buddha says, it is your desire. That person got quite confused. Why do I desire to suffer? Then Buddha says, it is not your desire to suffer, but it is your desire to enjoy. In the pursuit of enjoyment, you are committing sins, and because of that, you are accumulating karma, and you have to suffer. So that's what Krishna is also saying, the same thing here, that desire is a root cause of our problems. And Krishna is going to talk a little bit about this desire, how this desire transforms into lust, like intense hankering, right? So we'll see that in these couple of verses from here on. So how this desire starts? When the senses in contact with the sense objects, the desire arises, and we'll try to fulfill those desires. We'll make all the attempts to fulfill those desires. It is not just our attempt, it's Lord's attempt also. He'll make sure our desires are fulfilled. So just like our children, right? If our children is desiring for something, a toy or a food item, we'll make sure her desires are fulfilled. We'll try to give the things whatever the baby needs. Right? Similarly, the Supreme Lord, who is residing as Paramatma in the hearts of everyone, knows our desires and tries to fulfill our desires. Right? Just as like a parent gives the parent fulfills the desires, it not just desires. Parent fulfill all the whatever the desires, good or bad desires. No, parent tries to fulfill the desires within the boundary, not out of boundary. Similarly, the God also tries to fulfill our desires within the boundary, whatever is good for us, whatever is good for us. Right? So then why the desire is a problem? Right? Now that we know about desire, why desire is a problem. Krishna talks about it in next verse also, in a couple of verses, but I'm bringing it up. I'm going to tell that here. So desire is always unfulfilling, never satiated. Today, I look at a nice car on the street, my neighbor has it, I look at it, my desire started, and I want to get it. I'll do all the attempts to get it. If I can afford, if I can afford, I'll try to get it. Right? So I'll try to research Google and think about it, always thinking about it. Right? So my mind is totally disturbed. Right? So my in the pursuit of fulfilling our desires, like we are creating problems to ourselves only. Mind is totally disturbed. So what's wrong with the desire? Am I a stone? Am I not an emotional being? I'm an emotional being. I have desires. Right? When I look at it, I want it. There's nothing wrong in that. What Krishna is saying, if your desires are in the framework of dharma, right, then it is good. Good desire, that's good. If within the framework of dharma, our desires helping us towards liberation? That's another question we need to introspect and ask ourselves. I have a desire to enjoy certain things, right? Today I enjoy this one. Tomorrow I look at other thing. My desire starts. I try to enjoy that. It continues. It goes on. It's never satiating. Right? More I see the things, more I'll get desires. It's never ending. That's what Krishna is saying, never ending. So within the framework of dharma, if my desires are helping me to attain liberation, that's fine. If they're not helping, those are the desires which cause problems in our consciousness. So that is the reason why Krishna says this desire is also a problem, raga. One should stay away. This is the biggest obstacle. Okay. Hope I made sense. And next we'll go to this aversion, dvesha. Krishna talks about raga, desire, and dvesha is hatredness. Why hatredness? So what is the state of mind when we hate someone? Right? It's fully disturbed. It causes problem to us only. Right? Fully disturbed. So why do we hate? So various things, there could be many reasons, right? The reasons which are pertinent to this verse is when I desire for a thing, my desire is not fulfilled. And if someone comes in between, obstacle in fulfilling my desire, I hate that person. So that is one reason. Other reason is like there are many reasons people hate many things, right? So one may say like, I don't like that person. I hate that person. Why you hate that person? Because I don't like the face of that person. What's wrong with him? What's wrong with his face? Basically, problem is this person doesn't like the all the good things about person. He's envious of that person. That is the reason why he hates the other person. So this dvesha is also a disturbing. Hatredness is also disturbing, right? Just as like desires always, unfulfilled, unsatiated, always creates which occupies our mind, pulls us away. And this dvesha, hatredness also is so problematic to our life. So simple example, if you had I think we all had this personal experience. If you had a conflict with your friend or a colleague at your workplace, look at our mind state of mind. Is fully disturbed. That person created conflict, maybe he's enjoying his time, but how we take is a problem. If you're not taking in the right way, I mean, if you keep on thinking, if you're hating that person, right? So we are disturbing our mind, right? So this raga, desires, unfulfilled desires, which are the root causes of our suffering. That is a root cause for our repeated cycle of birth and death. That is one thing. And second thing is hatredness. If you're hating someone, that hate eventually turns into anger. That is also a problem to us. So Krishna uses this word paripantino. What is paripantino? Right? So these are called dacoits. Krishna is saying highway dacoits. So you don't see it in this country, but in India, if you go to India, in the previous times, if a person going to a pilgrimage, right? If a family is going to a holy place pilgrimage, so on their way, so there used to be like robbers. They used to go and attack these people and try to steal away this money and whatever they have possessions, right? Highway robbers. Krishna is comparing this raga, desire, and dvesha, hatredness, to these highway robbers. These highway robbers, so-called raga and dvesha, they steal away, right? Just as like robbers steal away, this raga and dvesha, like desire and hatredness, also steal away our consciousness, our peace of mind. So Krishna, this is a message to Arjuna by Krishna that, so Arjuna, when you want to practice Gnana Yoga, the path of liberation, without proper purification of mind, you need to deal with these obstacles. Okay, so practice Karma Yoga. That is a message to Arjuna. To us, in our spiritual life, spiritual journey also, we have to deal with this hatredness and unfulfilled, unlimited desires. So we have to put a check. So Krishna is going to talk about this in detail. So we'll see. So insight, what is in this verse? So these are the barriers in spiritual progress, right? So when you're walking or running on a, and you would have seen this in this kind of thing, like the image I'm showing here, on a running race, right? So they'll put all these hurdles, right? So one has to jump and go, right? So Krishna is saying these are the hurdles, right? Attachment and aversion, like desires, unfulfilled desires, and this hatredness and anger are the obstacles in the path of self-realization. Okay, if that is a problem, what is the solution? We'll see. Okay, life lesson. Attachment to pleasures and aversion to pain destroys inner equilibrium. Right? Attachment to desires in a pursuit of fulfilling your desires, and hatredness when there is a problem, hating someone. So they destroy our inner equilibrium. Okay, so we'll move on. Next verse 35. Okay, maybe I'll ask someone to recite this verse. I'll recite.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Good.
Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swa anustitat swadharme nidanam shreyah paradharmo bhayavahah. It is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though faultily, than another's duties perfectly. Distraction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in another's duties, for to follow another's path is dangerous.
Thank you, Prabhu. So in this chapter, in this set of verses, what Krishna is trying to do, Krishna is trying to persuade Arjuna to do his duty, follow the path of karma yoga, not run away from the battlefield. So he has spoken set of verses, and one of the verses is this one. So in the previous verse, he said, in the path of Gnana Yoga, in the path of self-realization, there are big obstacles, right? So it's really hard to overcome those obstacles without proper purification of mind. That purification of mind can attain when one follows the karma yoga, the path of karma yoga, right? And again in this verse, Krishna also saying, this is a message to Arjuna, right? Choose your profession that suits you. Swadharma. Swadharma here is choose your profession that suits you, suits your nature. So Arjuna, so we'll talk about like what is a message for Arjuna, and again we'll analyze what is a message for us. The message for Arjuna is choose your profession which suits you. So Arjuna here is a soldier. He is naturally inclined to fight. He's naturally inclined to rule, administer rule, and protect citizens, right? So that is his natural duty, right? And sitting in the jungle, going to the jungle, sitting and meditating on the self or the Supreme Lord. It's that's not something. Krishna is saying is paradharma. Doesn't suit Arjuna. Arjuna's nature is not that. That's what Krishna is saying. Arjuna, your nature is not that. Don't think about that. Do your swadharma. The dharma which naturally suits you, suits your consciousness. That is a message to Arjuna. So we'll see how this applies to us. So this verse can be spoken to like a kindergarten student or a PhD level or any highly advanced person also. So we always are confused. What is my dharma? What should I do? Right? So if a child, if parents, when the parents see some other child having good interest in dancing, right? So other we all go through this this very pertinent example. And we see our friends' children, they're really good at dancing. So that creates a desire in ours also. Like, I wish my child also like that. Right? But we need to see, is it the nature of my child? Does my child fits into that? Right? So sometimes we don't think, we all try to push it. Maybe that suits them, right? Sometimes that may not suit them. Maybe they're good in sports. Maybe they're good in sports, right? Maybe they're good in some other activities, painting or other activities, right? So the message is choose a profession that suits us, that helps us in our advancement. Okay. And Krishna also saying like choosing other profession like paradharma, it's bhayavaha. It's so dangerous, right? So if I'm a IT profession, right? I'm into IT profession. If suddenly I decide, okay, I don't want to do this, I'll go and operate a room. I'll be a doctor. I'll do surgeries and do surgeries, and that doesn't suit my nature, right? If I desire and artificially push myself towards that doesn't suit me, and maybe I'll go for 1 month and looking at the body and cutting it, I'm done. I don't want to do this job again. So that's paradharma. That's what Krishna is saying, do the job which suits you. We'll move on. So I'm going a little faster so that we can complete this chapter. I know I can tell many stories, but we also need to complete stories. Also need to complete this chapter. Okay. Inside to this chapter, what Krishna is saying, do your duty. Do not imitate others. Do not imitate others. Don't look at others and try to do the same thing, which doesn't suit you. So life lesson here, you are a designer piece. Release the uniqueness. Be yourself. Be original. So everyone has a unique skills, right? A uniqueness within us, what we alone can do. Right? So being ourselves and being original is more beneficial. Okay. So these are important verses from here on. 36, Arjuna asked this question. This is a question we all have. Everybody has the same question. Okay, maybe I'll ask someone to read.
Arjuna uvacha ata kena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichan api varsneya balad iva niyojitaha. Arjuna said, O descendant of Vrishni, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force?
Yeah, thank you, Arun. So,
So,
Arjun, yeah. So Arjuna is asking this question to Krishna, right? So we all have this question. What is that question? The question is, I want to practice karma yoga as you are prescribing to me. I want to practice spirituality. I want to purify myself. I want to walk in the way you're showing to me. You said in the previous verse that don't walk in the other lane, walk in the lane which suits you, right? Walk in the lane which suits you. And Arjuna is asking, what is that which pulls me down? I want to do this. I want to take up spirituality. I want to progress in my life. I want to purify my consciousness. I want to be a good person. But there is always an obstacle. What is that obstacle? I feel like something is pulling me, right? So if I ask an alcoholic person who is drinking alcohol every day, hey, why don't you stop it? He says like, there is so joy in this, so much joy in this. I'll not stop it. I can say like, okay, stop it for some time. You'll see. Or maybe something happens in his life. Okay, he stops it. Right. After some time, like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, he feel like to do that again. do that again. There is a hankering for it, right? So that person cannot live his life without drinking alcohol. If he's very much used to doing it, he cannot resist himself. He says, I mean, if he goes and drinks alcohol again, if I ask like, hey, what happened to you? You said you'll not drink. You made a vow that you'll not drink for until this time. And why are you drinking now? This person says, something is pulling me. Something is pulling me. I can't stop myself. There is a hard pull for me. Because of this hard pull, I had to do this again. So what is that hard pull? What is that force? Krishna talks about this in this from this set of verses in 37 onwards. Okay, so Arjuna's question is, what is this force which impels us to do sinful acts, bad things, right? Unwillingly, without my desire. Anichena. Icha means a desire, right? Like I want to do this, that's why I'm doing this. Anicca means we are without even desiring, we'll go and do it. Right? So best example is alcoholic. If very much used is alcohol, like he goes and does it. Without even desiring, no plans, just go and go and does it without any planning. Right? Yeah, there is a force which pulls us. What is that force? Krishna talks about it. Arjuna is asking that question, what is a force? And Krishna answers it. Okay, there is a term used by Arjuna here, sin. What is that sin? Okay, a force which propels us, pushes us towards the sin. So we'll look at what is sin, and we'll in next verse we'll see what is the response to this question. Krishna is going to answer this. Okay, so we'll see the analyze this sin. What is sin? So what is sin? So it's basically, if you're in short, I mean, there could be many things. As per scriptures, sin is something which is against the scriptures. If our scriptures are saying one thing and we are doing against the thing, right? Simple example, I always say this. So there are traffic rules in this country. We have to drive on the left. Sorry, we have to drive on the right, right? So we have to drive towards the right, right? And if I'm driving towards the left, I'm going against it. There is a stop sign. I need to stop it. I need to stop my car, right? If I don't stop, if I go in a high speed, if I run on the red, that means I'm breaking the rule. I'm transgressing the rule of government. Simple example, right? So same thing. A sin is something which is a sin. The definition of sin is something which is against the scriptures, or scriptures are saying like certain things, or in short, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying certain things. If you do not follow certain things, then we are accumulating sin. That is simple. Okay, so as per scriptures, it is also given in Srimad Bhagavatam, also spoken by Krishna. So various sins, right? There could be many various sins, but these are the 4 sins, very dangerous sins. Very dangerous sins. One is meat eating, right? Killing an animal for our own sense enjoyment, or satisfying this taste buds, our own sense enjoyment. We are hurting another animal, right? So that is the biggest sin. It is said that one would take birth, if a person kills a cow, right? One would take birth as many times as the hairs on the tail of a cow. If a cow has, how many hairs cow tail has? How many hairs the cow has on his tail? Many thousands of millions of hairs. So one has to take birth those many times, right? So if you kill a person, that is most dangerous sin, because one has to take birth again. Like this cow, whoever the soul in the cow or any animal, that also will be the cause of our death, as per scriptures. Okay, gambling, right? Gambling, like gambling. This is for our enjoyment. We are not hurting others, but by doing this gambling, we'll develop the propensity of cheating, right? So by our cheating, we create problems to ourselves and also others. So that's why this is also a bigger sin. One has to stay away. Other thing is intoxication. By our intoxication, we are not hurting anyone. Maybe not initially, right? When a person starts drinking alcohol, he loses his state of mind, right? Natural state of mind. He loses his natural state of mind. His mind goes away, right? Maybe he may not create problems initially, but he will create problems later to others. And more importantly, that person doesn't have any rights to create problem to his own body. The body also belongs to Supreme Law, right? We don't have any rights to destroy our body. So that is also another reason this intoxication is also prohibited. The biggest sin. Another sin is illicit relationship with other gender. That's also a dangerous sin one would ever commit. So since there was a term used by Arjuna about the sin, so I spoke about this. Okay. So no one wants to do the sin. There's always a force which pulls us. Okay. What is that? We'll see. Krishna answers this. So I'll ask someone to read this verse.
Kama esha, krodha esha, rajoguna samudbhavaha, mahashano mahapapma, vidyena miha vairinam.
Yeah, translation. Okay.
Yeah. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "It is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world."
Thank you, Aditya Prabhu. So Krishna is answering this. This is the answer to the question Arjuna asked in previous verse. What is that force which pulls us to do sinful actions? Right? What is the force which pulls us to go against rules? Right? It is lust, intense hankering. right? So what is lust? Lust is not like lusting or desiring for a sensual enjoyment with other women or other gender. No, that's not the thing. I mean, that is also a thing, but lust also means hankering, intense hankering to enjoy something, right? It could be a phone, a laptop, or a place, or a gold, right? Any material objects, any attractive material objects, right? Intense hankering. I mean, again, I'm saying the same thing. It's Krishna is not saying not to have it, not to possess it, or not to enjoy it. One can enjoy, right? When it intensifies, like one can have certain things, but if a person, I mean, we are on how much ever we have, we are not satisfied, right? We want more. This dil mange more, we always want more. So when the more gets intensified, that becomes lust. I want more. I want more. That intense hankering. I want it right now. I want it right now in my life. That's intense hankering, right? So that is the one which forces us to do many things in our life. So Krishna talks about how this starts, how this intense hankering takes birth. What is the root cause, right? And what are the transformations of this hankering? So we'll see this in this picture. So this is our inner enemy. That's why Krishna uses words, Vairinam. Vidhi enam iha Vairinam. These are eternal enemy, right? Lust, the intense hankering to enjoy the things, external material things, right? So how it starts? It starts with a desire, right? When you look at it, we want it, we contemplate on it again and again, again and again, again and again. So that becomes intensified and that develops to lust, right? So desire, transformation of desire is lust. And we'll go to up little higher than that. Why the desire comes in first picture? Why the desire comes in first picture? Okay. It is out of mode of passion, rajoguna. Kamaesha, krodayesha, rajoguna, samudbhavaha. Kama, these desires, krodha, anger, samudbhava, rajoguna, samudbhava is arising from rajoguna. Rajoguna. So this rajoguna is a culprit, which awakens our desires. So this is a simple example, right? So look at our state of mind when we are in the mode of goodness, right? And look at our thought levels when you get up from the bed. That is the best time. Everybody, if they're practicing spirituality or not practicing spirituality, when they get up from the bed, they're in the peace of mind, right? Mind is in the cool state, cool state of the mind for most of the people. Yeah? Mind is in the equilibrium state, right? That's called peace of mind. We can make good decisions. That is our best time to make decisions, right? So look at our mind, like what are our desires? Like, do we desire that thing, this thing, so many things, like in that time, or like during afternoon time or evening time? So when our passion levels are high, more the passionate levels, more the desires will come. When you look at this thing, I want this, I want this, I want this for my own enjoyment. I mean, there is nothing wrong. Again, I'm saying there's nothing wrong in possessing something. But these are also, these desires also trouble us. They trouble our peace of mind. In the pursuit of fulfilling our desires, we are restless. We are restless. Okay. So what is the root cause? Mode of passion. So we know what is mode of goodness, what is mode of passion, what is mode of ignorance. Right. So mode of goodness is like our mind is in peace state of mind. We can make good decisions. Right? We can make good decisions, like our mind is clear, calm, right? And mode of passion is like intense hankering, aggressive nature. Mode of ignorance is like dumb, lazy. So these are the things, dull, lazy. So these are the things we see in our mind. So Krishna is saying this desires which arise from this Rajoguna. When we are in Rajoguna, Or desires will pop up. Just like suddenly a plant pop-ups from the earth, right? So ting, like that, right? So these desires also pop up from us, right? So more the passionate levels, more the desires. And more the desires, we try to fulfill those desires. In the pursuit of fulfill those desires, we are restless. Our goal, our purpose of life, our purpose of this human life is not just to enjoy this material nature or enjoy things. I mean, we should enjoy, that's nothing wrong in that. But we entangle ourselves. It's never satiating. It's never ending, never satiating. So that's why Krishna says it's a vairi, eternal enemy. So one more thing, very important thing. So this desire, I talked about desire, right? Are these the desires coming from this lifetime or many lifetimes? Maybe I'll ask this question, maybe someone can answer. So are these the desires? Sometimes like suddenly something comes out, right?
Prabhu, like, we have like, so we have all had like, multiple lifetimes in various forms, right, Prabhu? And especially the desires which fall under the common category, right? Like, envy, lust, and greed, I think so, categorizing these three, I think, a lot of us has been having for a lot of lifetimes.
Exactly. Very nice.
So, yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, very nice, Prabhu. Thank you. So it is not just this lifetime; it's many lifetimes. We were attracted to many things, and in the pursuit of fulfilling those desires, something are not fulfilled, right? So maybe I have a desire in my previous lifetime to accumulate gold, accumulate gold, more and more gold. So in this lifetime, when I look at the gold, my mind naturally goes towards it, runs towards it, right? That is a force. That's what Krishna is answering. This is a force which naturally pulls us towards that object, right? It is not this lifetime. We have been carrying over this from many lifetimes. Okay, that's why Krishna is saying this is the eternal enemy. So when this desire is fulfilled, okay, the two things could happen. When that desire is fulfilled, right? I had my hankering to do certain thing, right? Any object, towards any object, attaining any object. My desire is fulfilled. If my desire is fulfilled, that again backfires. It turns into greed. It isn't going to stop the fire. It's going to turn into greed. I want more again and again. So my desire is fulfilled. I'm done for 1 month, 2 months. Again, after third month, I'll see iPhone 20 or some other anything, any object. The desire continues. It's never ending, never satiating, never fulfilling. So that is okay. But the bigger obstacle, the bigger problem is the anger. Right? So when there's a least lust, the desire transforms to lust, and the lust, intense hankering, when it is stopped. Okay, I want to do this. If someone becomes the obstacle on my enjoyment, I'll become angry. So this lust transforms to anger. When the lust is not fulfilled, I want to get a nice car. I'll do whatever it takes to nice a car. If I'm not getting the car on time, the time I wanted, I'll go mad. I'll go mad. That is lust. It's a transformation of this desire to anger, right? Krishna is saying, what happens when we are in angry? We create problems to everybody, ourselves. We went through this about anger, right? So there are good side of anger, bad side of anger. So we spent enough time on this one. I'll quickly touch if you forget it. There are good side of anger, there is nothing wrong. So we discipline our children. That's a good anger. There is no wrong in that. That's a good anger, right? So that anger which comes out of ego, if someone is touching my ego, right? I'm blasting them, right? So out of not having proper control of our emotions, that's a bad side of anger. So that is more disturbing to us and also our others. Okay. So in short, Krishna is saying this is a root cause. This root cause is desire. The transformation of desire is lust, which is born of Rajoguna, the mode of passion. So So what next? Krishna talks about what is the solution now. Anyway, we'll see. So insight into Sivas, what is a force which compels man to commit sin? This is a question, right? So answer is lust. Again, also the lust also transforms to krodha. And what is the nature of these twin evils? Like they're all devouring, all sinful. They are the constant enemies of spiritual seeker. Okay, life lesson. While being engulfed by our biggest enemy, we think we are enjoying the most. That is the irony of life. Right? This lust, intense desires, hankering, these are the biggest enemies. And we don't even look at it, we don't even worry about it. What's going on with our mind, what's going on with our life. And we think we are happy. It's the irony of life. Okay. I think we are on track to finish. So I'll ask someone to read. It's 38 verse.
धूमेनाव्रियते वान्हिर् यथादर्शो मलेन च यतोऽल्बेनावृतो गर्भास् तथा तेन दम् avrutam. As fire is covered by smoke, as a mirror is covered by dust, or as the embryo is covered by the womb, the living entity is similarly covered by different degrees of this lust.
So Arjuna asks this question: what is this enemy? What is this force which pulling me towards sinful actions or against my nature? Right. So Krishna's answer, that is lust, the intense hankering, the greed, the lust, the desire, the transformation of desire which turns to lust. So that is a force, intense hankering to enjoy material things. That is a force which pulls us away from our spiritual path. Right. And in this verse, Krishna says it has different degrees. It has different flavors. Just like ice cream has strawberry flavor, mango flavor, vanilla flavor. So this lust has, this hankering or lust has different flavors, right? Flavor in the sense here it is different degrees. It can occupy us, right? So what are those? We'll see this in this picture. Okay. So you see this, the fire. Krishna spoke about these three things. So how this lust occupies this contaminate our consciousness in different degrees, right? How this lust, the intense hankering, contaminate our consciousness, that is in different degrees. So degree 1, degree 2, and degree 3. So one is, the example Krishna gives is, just as smoke covers fire, right? If you lit a fire, there will be a smoke. If the fire is burning high, right, and there is also obviously there is smoke, right? So fire, if you see a fire, there is a smoke, right? And second example Krishna gives is mirror covered by dust. Mirror covered by dust, right? So if you see an old mirror, it's so much dust on it, right? And the third example Krishna gives is the this embryo, like the child in the covered in the womb of a mother, right? So what Krishna is saying, we'll try to decode it. We'll try to decode it. So you can see in this table here, right? So fire covered by smoke, that is a light covering. This intense hankering we have, or everybody has, it's in different levels. The lust or intense hankering, it's in different levels. For some people, it is light, right? 10%. For some people, it's 50%. For some people, it's 100%. Right? So it is slight, medium, large, intense, slight, medium, intense covering. Right? Just as t-shirt size, if you buy a t-shirt, we'll get short, medium, large. Right? So like that, this covering is in 3 levels: light, medium, and intense, strong covering, right? So we'll try to decode it. So what does it mean? So if the covering is light, right, So if I need to blow away the smoke, right? What I need to do? Just blow some wind, right? Oof, or blow away some wind, the smoke will go away. Right? It's light covering. On the fire, this smoke covering is there, but it's a light covering. If I blow somewhere, it will go away. Right? It's a light covering. And the mirror is a medium covering. Right? If I blow air on the mirror, which has dust, it won't go, right? So if the covering is more, right? This is stick, something is stuck on it. So we need some chemical. We'll spray. There's a glass cleaners, right? We'll put the glass cleaners and we'll wash it, and this shines. This mirror shines, right? So it's a medium covering. And this embryo in the womb, right? So I mean, we can't see the baby in the womb, right? We have to go through X-rays and stuff, right? So it's not so easy. So it's like a deep covering, something which you cannot see with your eyes, and it needs some extra push. Right? So that is X-ray. One has to go through X-ray, and so it's a deep covering, right? So Krishna gives this example. It's people have different levels of covering. The lust levels, the hankering levels are different for different people. Some people have light covering, some people have medium covering, and some people have dense covering, deep covering. So how to remove the covering? The covering is less effort is needed. Covering is medium effort is needed. Covering is strong, there is a strong effort is needed. Right? Okay. So if you're covered by smoke, what is the chance of overcoming, right? So we always ask, okay, I'm doing this cleaning service, right? So what is the chance of overcoming? So there is a good chances, maximum chances of overcoming in the less, when there is a cover, what is that? This covering is less, it's easy to blow away, right? There's a maximum, there are good chances of overcoming the lust when we have less desires, right? So when we intensify it, contemplate on it, right? And we intensify it, right? The chances will be very less of overcoming that. So that is a message here by Krishna decoded. If you have any questions, we'll talk. So life lesson: recover the soul, don't recover it. We have the habit of recovering it from many lifetimes, right? We develop a desire. I said desire is not this lifetime, many lifetimes. We have been recovering it from many layers. Like, we are intensifying. These desires are never satiating. Right? So what Krishna is saying? Recover it. Clean that before it gets dense. So 39-40. So this is where Krishna says the last, the enemy, the eternal enemy, it is never satiating. Maybe I'll ask someone to read this English, 39 and 40.
Thus, the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. 3 locations of lust. Where is the enemy located? 3 locations of lust. The senses, the mind, and the intelligence are the sitting places of this lust. Through them, lust covers the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders him.
Thank you, brother. So Arjuna asked this question: what is this force which pulls me? Right? So Krishna answered that is lust. Right? And Krishna also talked about various levels of lust, the various degrees, how this covering in different people. Some people have light covering, some people have medium covering, and some people are dense covering. Right? Intense hankering as dense covering. Right? And that's Krishna adds one more point to it. Here in this verse, Krishna says, it is always like a burning fire. One more example Krishna gives, which is never satiating. If you see this fire here, right? There's a fire burning. If you put more oil to it, more petrol or gas to it, right? Here we call it as gas, more gas to it, it burns more. keep on adding, keep on burning. Right? So similarly, Krishna is saying these desires, the root cause of our repeated cycle of birth and death, the desires to enjoy this material world, desires to intense hankering to enjoy or accumulate things, right? This is like never satiating. More we have, more we want. More we have, more we want. It's like the example given is burning fire. More we put oil, more the blaze is. Okay, so Krishna gave everything about the enemy. Now Krishna gives the location of this enemy. Now that we know what is that enemy and where is this enemy located, the location is, Krishna gives 3 locations, not 1, 3 locations. The locations are senses, mind, and intelligence are the 3 places which covers and bewilders a man. Do we see? We don't see it, right? We can experience it, right? If my computer gets a virus, if I take this person to a repair shop, he looks at it like, he says there is a virus. Well, I don't see the virus, show me the virus. He says like, there is a software thing, I can't show you. you will experience it, right? So when we operate the laptop, we'll experience it. Similarly, so this intense hankering, which sits at 3 levels: sense level, mind level, and intelligence level. The beginning level is sense. When the sense in contact with sense objects, mind get disturbed, or intelligence is weak. If we cannot control these desires, intelligence is lost and we are lost. Okay, so I have a picture. I'll talk about it in next verse. Yeah, so yeah, I'll cover both this set of verses in the next slide. There is a nice picture. Anyway, so the problem is this lust, the desires, intense hankering. How to overcome this? Krishna talks about it by first regulating the senses. You have to begin with regulating the senses. Krishna said senses, mind, and intelligence. You begin your thing, conquering it, working on it. Come from level 0. Level 0 is senses. Senses are the one, and these desires are on the senses. Looking at the things will get disturbed, right? So Krishna is saying first regulate the senses. So let me read this. Therefore, O Arjuna, best of the Bharatas, in the very beginning, curb this great symbol of lust, sin, lust, by regulating the senses and slay this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization. Right? In 42, the working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than senses. Intelligence is higher than the mind. And the soul is even higher than the intelligence. So this enemy, the so-called lust, intense desires, lust, which resides in the 3 places. The 3 places are mind, senses, mind, and intelligence. Krishna is saying, first you regulate the senses. It's not like closing our eyes, right? So if you close our eyes, the problem solved? No, right? So one may say like, okay, I want to stop drinking alcohol, okay? And I'll not look at alcohol. I'll cover I'll blindfold myself. I'll put a cloth on it and blindfold myself. But the desire to enjoy that alcohol is still there, right? Even though one cannot see the senses, see through the senses. If one see through the senses, first thing, okay? If a person looks at the alcohol bottle, his agitation starts, the first level, right? Okay, we remove that in picture, okay? Now let's blindfold him. We'll put a cloth against on his eyes. Now he cannot see that object. You can put any object. I'm putting the object as alcohol here. So any object. Now the object, the senses are covered. He cannot see it. So he'll not hanker for it. He will still hanker for it. The next level is mind. That's why Krishna is giving a hierarchy. You have to work on the mind level also. Right? The taste remains in the mind. Right? taste remains in the mind. Even if a person cannot see it, but he has the thoughts in his mind. Okay, let's work on the mind. We'll send him to meditation classes or chanting holy name of the Lord. Okay, now his mind is also controlled. Now Krishna goes to the intelligence level. Right? So intelligence is the one which discriminates what is right, what is wrong. Right? Decision making, discrimination, one would get from this intelligence. Okay, we stopped at the senses level, we stopped at the mind level. He still has a free will. This person still has a free will. He's controlling his mind, controlling his senses, but still, if intelligence is weak, his discrimination power is weak, he'll succumb to that, right? He'll run behind that alcohol or object of enjoyment, right? So Krishna, that's what Krishna is saying. You work on these levels. If intelligence is very much trained, now we are solving 3 problems: senses, mind, and intelligence. Intelligence, this person very much trained. He knows what is right, what is wrong. That's it. He'll not do that. He'll not hanker for this sense of enjoyment through this object of alcohol or any object. So that's why Krishna is giving the hierarchy: senses, mind, intelligence. And one more hierarchy is soul. So look at this picture. So Krishna gives hierarchy, that is dull matter. Superior to dull matter is senses. Superior to senses is mind. Superior to mind is intelligence. And superior to intelligence is soul. Right? If one stops looking at it, he still have the desires in the mind. If one stops thinking about this in the mind, if mind is cleansed, but the intelligence, he still have this intelligence, like discriminating and decision making on the intelligence level. If that is also stopped, and all are in control, and you're good. So how we get that? That is through soul, right? A soul, Atma, and also the Paramatma who resides in, when we follow the instructions of the Supreme Lord. By the process of devotional service, we'll have clear intelligence, mind, and senses. Okay, so I'll try to quickly finish this. So you can see this. If you are okay, I can take 5 more minutes. Okay. And we have the last verse 43, and we'll be done with this chapter. So look at this. I think I showed this picture in different topics. So in our Upanishad, Katha Upanishads, there is a nice analogy given. So this is our body. This is our body. We have senses, we have mind, we have intelligence, and we have consciousness. Right? So this body with mind, senses, intelligence, and conscious Atma is compared to this chariot. This chariot which has 5 horses. These 5 horses are compared to these 5 senses: sense of vision, sense of hearing, sense of smell, sense of touch, sense of taste, right? And there's another level. Level 2 is, this chariot example. You can see these people in the chariot, right? There are horses. There is a reins, the thread, a rope to control these horses. And there's a person who is controlling these horses and this Atma. So these 5 horses are these 5 senses, and the reins are the mind. The intelligence is this person who is the driver. The Atma, the soul, is the passenger sitting here. So Krishna is giving the hierarchy. Superior to dull matter, the many attractive things in the world. Superior to that is senses. We can put a control, we can put a check on the senses. Okay, and superior to senses is a mind. We can control these senses through the mind and intelligence. So for a simple example, if that intelligence is weak, right? If this person who is riding these wild horses, if this person is a weak, lean, slim guy, he cannot hold these horses very well. So this person has to be really, really strong. If this person is strong, then he can really control his horses, right? So if this person has to be strong, so he can be strong by this Atma. Soul is the one, the driving force, which enables the intelligence, right? And helps to control the mind and senses. So Krishna is saying, put a check here, right? The driving force which is pulling you, control that, which is sitting. These are the enemies which are sitting in the senses, mind, and intelligence. Try to control it. The last verse will end, last verse of this chapter. Maybe we'll ask someone to read.
Evam buddhe param buddhva samstabhyatmanam atmana jahi satrum mahabaho kamarupam durasadam. Thus, knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material senses, mind, and intelligence, O mighty armed Arjuna, one should study the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, Krishna consciousness, and thus by spiritual strength conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust.
So here she's saying soul is superior to all this. We have this gross body, subtle body, right? And we are soul, and we also have super soul within that. So here Krishna is saying, by your spiritual strength, you're an Atma, know yourself, you're not all these material things, right? You're an Atma. By cultivate the spiritual strength, right? How can we get the spiritual strength? By the practice of yoga, right? Yoga, that is connecting ourselves to the Supreme Self, the path of Gnana Yoga, the path of Dhyana Yoga, like meditating on the Supreme Lord, or the path of Bhakti Yoga, that is more simple and easy way, right? Engaging our mind, senses, everything, right? I think Shanta Mataji also asked this question. Shanta asked this question about the senses, what she wants more example, right? In the each level, mind level, senses level, and intelligence level. And how can we control it? Simple. Engage our senses in the service of the Lord. That is there is a message given by our acharyas, who are preaching this Bhakti Yoga, the practice of Bhakti Yoga. When we look at it through our senses, spiritualizes senses, spiritualizes mind, spiritualizes intelligence, spiritualize our existence through the practice of Bhakti Yoga. The example given here, example given in our scriptures is the Ambarish Maharaj. He was a king. He had everything. So much money, so much wealth. He's still not disturbed by anything. He did not hanker for anything. He did not have the desires for anything. Even if there is a loss also, he did not had the hanker. Even us, right? If I have $1 million, I hanker for $100 million, right? But hankering always exists, right? But when we spiritualize our existence, right? Spiritualize our mind, senses, engaging our senses in the service of the Lord by practicing Bhakti Yoga, engaging our mind, engaging our intelligence. We just need to channelize this. That is a simple and easy way. Just channelize it, shift our focus from material thing to spiritual thing. Then everything is automatically controlled. So that's called higher taste. That's what Krishna says, higher taste. Give the higher taste to our body, mind, and spiritually, our existence. So there are 4 things, right? ABCD principle again, always association. Association. When one associate with the saintly people and try to be with them, learn the spiritual things and practice spirituality in association with the saintly people, so this mind, senses, and intelligence get purified automatically, right? And be for books, studying scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, right? Or the message of Supreme Lord, or the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Mind is automatic. We don't need to do extra effort. We just to channelize, right? The mind is also purified. Right? ABC, chanting the holy name of the Lord. That's so easy process. So if you want to control the breath, pranayama exercises, we can do, but it's a little hard. Our consciousness, stability in our consciousness wouldn't last longer. Right? If you do pranayama 1 hour, it's good, or 2 hours is good, right? So, but the chanting of holy name, when the divine energy flows into our consciousness, the divine energy flows into our consciousness, it stays longer, right? So that's how our consciousness get purified. See, and diet, one should have a good diet, right? Diet is also very important. Eat the sattvic food. If you're eating the food which is in the mode of passion, that's what Krishna says, right? Kama yesha, krodha yesha, rajoguna samadbhava, born out of passion. One has to eat a sattvic diet, then we just need to channelize, spiritualize our existence. Then we don't need to do any extra effort. Automatically things will happen. We don't want to conquer our mind with our own strength. We just channelize it. Everything is automatically controlled. Okay, so that ends the chapter 3. In chapter 4, Krishna shifts. So far, Krishna is persuading Arjuna to do his work, that is fighting on the battlefield, because he's a soldier. His duty is to fight. And Krishna is saying, you work like a karma yogi, and spoke about importance of working. And he's giving the right way to work, right? And next 4th chapter, Krishna is going to shift it. He's going to talk about himself. Right? So Krishna says this message of karma yoga is not new. This message of spirituality or karma yoga, this is not new. I have spoken this. This is not something I introduced right now. It's not my mental concoction. This is not something new I'm preaching. This I have been preaching from many years ago to many people. Right? So he shifts, he talks about himself, and we'll see that in the next class, next Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. same time, we'll begin the chapter 3. So in the next session, I'll do a complete overview of chapter 3, right? Full overview in detail. And again, we'll begin this chapter 4. Maybe we'll cover a couple of verses. Okay, I'll stop here.